Hi, I am Roxy. I am here to ask you to do something for Steve6464. Can you watch as much of the video that you can? Then before you leave a comment. Make it a critique, a constructive criticism. Thanks. Oh, he's about to start. Bye.
Alright, Foxtrot, Foxtrot Delta Tango, Foxtrot Delta Tango, Foxtrot Delta Tango, 1, 2, 3, Foxtrot Delta Tango. Alright, let's try it there. Hi, I'm Steve6464. This is season 13 of Let's Build This, part 24 of finishing a 15-year-old project. And there she is, right there. And before we get building, let's review last week. Alright, that was last week, and for one more time, let's have a look at the National Air and Space Museum and the Sopwith Camel they had there. Alright, Foxtrot, Delta, Tango, Foxtrot, Delta, Tango. That seems a little in the red. Let's try that. Foxtrot, Delta, Tango. Alright, might be a little loud now, but I'll move to the other side of the room. Hopefully it won't be that loud. Let's change scenes. I do want to do exposure change on this main camera. Okay, got the right one. Right click, properties, configure video. Just want to make it a little darker. Let's see if it'll let me do that. And I don't know why the camera is rolling. This is at 60 hertz. This is 50 hertz. Move back to 60. I think maybe I went a little too dark. Okay, but that rolling is going to become annoying. So what if let's unplug it and unplug it back in. See if that helps. And what that did is it froze the camera. So let's go. See if that helps. Nope, it's still frozen. Okay, properties. It's just for fun, switch cameras. And then let's go back. That fixed it. Alright. Body, yep, that fixed it. Alright. Let's get to work. So, as always, we're going to start by filtering our thinner. We need a clean jar. The clean funnel, filter, and then what we want to filter. Alright, this later on we'll give a warm soapy water rinse. This will need a little later on. These are all filter paper, and the funnel will need a warm soapy water cleaning also. Alright, let's look at our model, get our X-Acto blade, because we need to trim up. We need to trim up these overhangs. And this is not seeing what we're working on. Right. But if we do this, right, there. Okay. So we want to carefully cut off this excess. And let's take the main camera and adjust it. I wasn't really surprised and actually hurt. That side is good. Switch it to this side. You're really not seeing what I'm doing to the under bottom wing, because it is hidden from the top wing. Right, so let's try. Do not try to catch sharp stuff that falls. Oh, this is fun. Cap to my glue bottle broke. Oh wait, no, this is a pull out, not a. Never mind. Let's see if we can't do something like this. Alright, and we'll bring this down. Like this. Alright, that's about as good as it's gonna get. I mean, we're not gonna stay here more than a minute. Yeah, spent more time adjusting the camera than I did cutting. Okay, here's dope glue. And I just want to get the parts that I couldn't cut rounded over and glued to the bottom. And let's do that for this side as well. Okay. Not that there's a lot to do. But every little bit to make it look a little better is worth the effort. This is gluing up thinner, right? Yep. Oops. Although I'm almost done with that. Oh, okay. I'm going to mix up some more dope and thinner to use as glue, because it looks like I'm running out. Pour in roughly the same amount of thinner. I'll use this foggy stuff. Because the foggy stuff is actually the dope. Okay, and let's mix this all up. Now we're going to work on the tail, the elevator. Alright. Darth Vader's ant elevator. And then when we get this all cleaned up, oh, there's some on the bottom I need to clean up too. Then we'll put paper on the bottom side of the elevator, paper on both sides of the rudder, and then start putting paper on the bottom side of the wings. We'll start with the top wing, and then we'll continue then to do the bottom wing. And there we go. carefully. Oh my God, why is it sleeping? Because I'm not that steady, that's why. Okay. Then let's clean up the edges. Seems like we have edge cleanup problems on the top wing. Alright, fold over. And that last dipping the brush. It's got some spilt on my arm. Alright, the top of the elevator is done. Before I clean up, I noticed some overhang. Here that I wanted to take care of. And apparently I never trimmed up the bottom of the fuselage when that was done. And so we'll do that next. Ooh, we're going a little top heavy there. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go around this and not be so much concerned if it shows up on camera, just so it gets done. But I'm just trying to knock down overhang. Just so it looks cleaner. Hold on better. Right, better glued. Better adhered to the frame. Right. Do I see any more? I don't see any more. Okay. But what I did notice is it looks like I didn't trim up the bottom when that finally dried. And YouTube is saying me there's I got 4 viewers, 3 viewers maybe, whatever. Yeah, if you're just hanging out watching, just say hi. You don't have to engage in the conversation if you don't want to. Just say hi once so I know who's here. Okay. I don't want to poke a hole. Well, I suppose poking a hole in the fuselage is not as detrimental as poking a hole in the wing. Right? The fuselage has nothing to do with the physics of flight. I mean, aesthetically, it will look bad. Okay. That's what I didn't want to do, was poke a hole The question is, do I want to fix it? And if I do want to fix it, do I want to take the chance of poking another hole somewhere else by cutting this piece out? Or do I want to add the weight and just put a piece on top of it? Okay, and do I have scrap. Is the grain running the correct way? Don't know. Alright, let's dope this up. Okay. So we were cutting this down because of overlap or hanging over. So let's get the hangover that we couldn't, the hangover that we couldn't cut off glued down. With the other side here glued it down. Okay. I think that is it. Okay, so we're going to do the bottom of the elevator next. First I'm going to close up my glue, my thin dope, clean out my brush a bit so it doesn't get hard. Of course, after I log off, I will wash everything in warm soapy water and drink time. Well, I guess we're back down to just the original two viewers. I think what I might do is make a graphic on the bottom that says just something like, if you stick your head in, just say hi. Something like that. Put this back. Clean up the small stuff here. And now we're back up to, is it 3 or 4 viewers? Strange. If you're sitting in the wings, please just say hi. This is big enough. Is the drain running the right way? The drain is running the right way. But I need to do a little adjusting. Do something like this. And cutting board should be the back of this clipboard. All right. Should be good. Good enough. Alright, that was the easiest one thus far. Excuse me, I think that was the easiest one so far. Do we have any more scrap big enough to do that in one piece. Nope. So I'm going to have two cuts. Another piece. And 4.5 by 3.5. Let's measure from that corner. Some weights. Four and a half by 3.5. And 3.5. And of course the green is going in that way. Alright, let's cut it out. Hey, stop it, cut it out. Oh shoot. I didn't cut the angle. Look at that. Fits like a glove. Okay. We'll let that set until next week. And I am going to mix it more dope for tissue gluing. It appears we are running out. Alright. Now, oh, the rudder. Yes. I'm definitely going to have to find more concentrated dope soon. Amazon doesn't seem to have it. Okay, now for the rudder. Some tissue paper. Oh, but I guess I did not. Okay. The grade on this piece is this way. And I think it would go against the ribs, right? So that piece will work there, kind of. Especially if we cut a notch. Out of it. And can you see this on camera? Or are you just getting my big fat head? Okay. Well, it would be really cool if I didn't have to cut one. But I'm probably going to have to cut one. And the grain goes this way. into that camera. And then this, alright, so the first piece was tailored for here. I need 2 hands and the plane is not going to cooperate. Right? Like that. And the other piece should go like this. It's a big old oh, that's what's in the way. Okay. Set this down. Let's get rid of our cutting surface. Let's dope up our brush. And this is going to be heavy enough? Probably not. But it will help. Dope this up with my left hand. That should be fun. You don't fight me that much when I dried glued you. Okay, that side is done. Flip this over. Well, that works this time. Okay, dope all this up. Okay, that part of the rudder is done. Yeah, I'll show it to the back here, but it's probably easier. Oh. There we go, okay. Alright, do I have any scrap big enough to cover the front part of the rudder? Oh yeah, my head's in the big head's in the way. Yeah. And I'm going to have to cut some. And this is roughly two and a half by 2. And we want a vertical, right? Because we want the grain. The grain is going this way, but when we put it on the rudder, we want it vertical. Right. Let's just turn it the way that we need it. First thing. Right, and we said 2 and a half. Yeah, 2 and a half. And we said 2 inches tall. Cut this out. Alright, flip this over. Okay, I think that's why the counterweight doesn't help. Okay. Set that aside for a moment, let it dry a bit. Cover things up. Get a drink. Hello, testing. Okay. Volume's still pretty good, despite my mumbling. And what time is it really? 2:14. Why does it seem like it should be later? Alright, I have like 45 more minutes. Give or take 15. Depending on how I feel, how things go. Right, so the bottom side of the top wing. And this is going to be interesting because I don't think you're going to see much. Especially without, getting my fat head in the way. Just working on this section first. Okay, can I do that more comfortably? No, I can't. So that's the best you're going to get. Alright, we have these supports now to cut around. Yay! Because I'll need to go from here to here and still manage to get around these things. Well, first let's find out what size we need. Okay, 6.5. Width by T. Width by length. And alright, 6.5. Alright, subtract the 1 by 4.5 and by 5. Hey Roy, how you doing? I'm sailing. That is, no, that will not work. But let me cut that part off. What do I do with my metal, small metal triangle? There it is. Next to my blue plastic ruler. You hurt your back. How'd you do that, Roy? Okay, what size is this? 6.5 by 5. I'm not going to use that for measure. By 5 inches. But I'm doing sub 1, so that'd be 6 inches. Sub 1, 6 inches. Moving a small light and table. Something that normally doesn't hurt. Yeah, well, you must have maybe twisted at the same time and lifting or something. I pulled my back a few weeks ago just bending over to plug something in. The only thing I can think of is I might have been twisting and bending at the same time. So yeah, icing it and taking painkillers, aspirin, or are you just matting it up? Alright, now I gotta figure out where the hell to put the notches for these supports, and the grain is running this way. So, buttons in here. Let me find the center of this, roughly. 6.5, 3.25, right? 3.25, 3.25, 6.5. Oh, that back brace is a great idea. Wish I had thought of that when I did mine. Alright, so this line should match up with that rib. So if we measure, and that rib is the center, if we measure from there to the brace, it is 2 inches from center. Starts at 2 and it goes to 1/4. Well, I suppose the best thing to do would be also, but I don't have a middle rib to align going this way. And I need to do the same thing on this side. But maybe I could do something like this. And I just noticed the back brace is a little further out than the front brace. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Two and 2.25. Two and 2.25. Well, it's not going to be a hole, is it? Because it's going to have to go all the way to the edge. So I didn't actually need the outer side measurement. So let's carefully turn this around, line this up. Oh, I've accidentally, this is a gray line, but it matches this rib. So let's line it up like that. Alright. And do this. Alright, and then we measure ½ inch 7/8. ½ inch 7/8. One and 7/8. Two and an eighth. Alright, let's cut this out. And I am going to cut it a bit fat. Because that's what I do. I cut things to the fat side. It's a new comic strip I'm working on, the fat side. It's going to be a totally rip-off of the far side, but I'm just going to call it the fat side. You don't need the whole line, just a small section. With my big head in the way. Sorry. Alright, let's see how well I did. Let's see how well I doed on this. I hope I doed it good. So, the inside part is what we're cutting. Come on. Well, that looks like it fits. Dope. Brush. Working on this part. See if we can't push it more to the center. Alright. Let's see what we end up with. I like how the dope just takes care of the Sharpie marker markings. Alright, let's excuse me, see how that goes. Now that it's wet, I things may not. Oh, that went easier than when it was dry. Kinda. I don't know, can you? Right, you can't see that. I need to do that to get in. Tissue paper. And I cut it too big. Okay, let's color that done. And let's find out what time it is. Okay, what time is it? 2:42. I think that this is close enough. let's let everything dry, thoroughly dry the week. And yeah, I'm done. I'll let everything thoroughly dry the week, and we'll be back at it next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Whenever I am able to get my shit together enough to start. Well, thank you, Roy, for coming by. I helped review some of the loneliness. Alright, so let's switch scenes around. Let's go back to here. And oh, that's the wrong one. This is the one. Right. No, one of the cameras froze. So, what camera is this? Oh, it's locked. Right. This one. Alright, so let's go properties. Switch cameras. And let's go back. To the camera. There we go. And that is this one. Okay. Alright, let's do something like that for the close. So, yeah. Thank you. No problem. Anytime. Every weekend. And for those of you who are just viewing and then say hi in the chat, thank you for viewing this far. Those of you from watching this in the future that made it this far, thank you. And yeah, so everyone have a good day, be safe, be a friend to someone who needs a friend. And one last time, let's watch this. Alright, I've been Steve6464. This has been season 13 of Let's Build This, part 24, finishing a 15-year-old project. And the last thing I have to say is,
look! An echo chamber of derp. Derp, 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 derp.
Derp, 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 derp.
Gravity is not a force.
Einstein replaced Newton. My theory
Jerp, 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 jerp.